Some enjoying art members ask me how you can describe the color bounce back and forth between different objects. I'm going to use this member critique video, how to describe the color reflections between different objects in the still life painting. This is a very good composition already. The big shapes is very good. Now how we're going to make it into the smaller shape, still keep the balance. This first thing we'll talk about the color, the green-gray color in the background over here. We want to have a little bit brighter color over here. We have a brighter yellow color, but we also want this color a little bit brighter too. So I'm going to pick this color first, and I'm going to make it a little bit purple. I'm going down to the purple, and you're going to see, maybe not that purple, because that kind of fruit, it doesn't have that much purple. So I'm going to have a little bit like this, a little bit warmer, like that. And so I'm going to put a little color over here, try to create some balance. I'm going to make the opacity a little bit higher. Look at that. Maybe a little bit too much, coming down a little bit. It's the same thing. It's just about ideas, it's not about medium. It will be the same theory that you use on other medium, like oil, acrylics, a gouache, whatever medium is. Now I'm using the iPad, just make it a little bit easier. I just scrap a little bit brighter color, so you create a little bit more contrast to the cool green color in the background. So I'm going to take this color. Now you can probably still be able to lift up the color if the paper allow you to do so. So have a little big shape. Those shape is just divide the bigger shape into smaller shape. So because the shape right now is a little bit empty, you can look at it. It's just a little bit too open. So you want to have some shape divided. So now the shape become a little bit more interesting to look at. Okay, have a little bit like that. Okay, now we're gonna zoom it out. Do you see this warm color compared to the green color have a little bit more vibrant, have a little bit more contrast in the color. So that's one thing. The other thing we want to talk about, I really love this, the invention of all those catch the shadow. This is very beautiful. And maybe this one, we can actually have it a little bit longer over here. I just thinking about this, maybe make it more interesting, like a little bit longer over here. Is that possible like this? Yes, it depends on the surface of the table. We have to push it a little more. This one and this one over here, it looks a little bit kind of connected over, and we don't want that. We want to separate it a little bit. So you have to think as your shape, be a little creative. Just think about shape. So that means you can do whatever you want, basically. As soon as just make it look interesting, so serve the purpose. So the big shape looks very, very good already. What I'm going to do, I'm going to see how we can divide it in smaller shape. By looking at the lemon on the left-hand side, you're going to see that we can actually divide this into sub-shapes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick this color, maybe even a little bit darker. Put it down this way, maybe a little bit warmer, like that. So let's see. So just think about how you're going to divide it and make it still look interesting. So now you see I can divide it, looking for the dividing line between the light and shadow side. So you can see this, and this is the shadow side. So when you're looking at, now you can see this. When you're seeing the darker color, you don't want to just make the black. It doesn't work. Okay, you have to see the temperature of that object. Okay, think about that. But the lemon over here reflect the color back to this. So I'm gonna pick this little yellow color, and I'm put it back over here. Now I can make it suggestions that's showing how it turns, like that. Is that immediately you sense that the color from here and bounce back. The light on here hit this and bounce back onto this object. They immediately, because this is all human experience. We have the experience. We don't have to think about it. It's inside of us. The second thing that I'm going to soften a little bit over here, so I'm going to use the blending tool. I'm going to soften a little bit over here, so we don't want it to be all so hard. Okay, over here it can soften. Yeah, by this, well, it's the two things. This can make the color a little bit more transparent when you're coming down. The second thing, I'm using the blending tool on the top, right? The blending tool actually helped me to blend it. The blending tool actually push the color around like that, so make it a little bit softer, but don't want to overdo it. And a power braid, I don't want to use that. I just want to use this color. Take this color, maybe a little bit, the middle tone. I'm just going to, but you don't have to use the blending tool now. I just use the opacity, so make it a little bit translucent. The second thing we'll talk about, the same thing we talk about the color. So we're gonna make this back to a little bit. You can use the watercolor, just leave it. And if you use acrylic, it just put the color in. Just remember the color reflected from where. Now you have these two things very close to each other. So the color was some light would hit here and hit the color over here. So that means I'm gonna take this color. Yeah, it needs a little bit more, a little bit warmer. So of course I'm gonna have the same value as in the catch the shadow. So I'm gonna just blend a little. I don't have to make it solid. Just blend a little. It's from the lemon, but also it makes sense to you now. It also from this. Yeah, this is the warm color. So it may be too much, and then you can use the yellow color and blend it on the top because it's a little translucent. So in that case, you have the color very beautifully reflected to each other. Also, you can also probably getting something over here too. And you can pick this color. You can see that, oh, this area must have some yellow. Bounce back over here. We cannot see that in the reference because you change the position. So yeah, now you have a little warm color over here too, a little bit. So it's have a very vibrant interaction. Now you see, look at here. Oh my God, look at that two color. They can bounce back to each other. And now we're not just like cutting into the shape. Also, you can think about now the shape has problem. Now you see that the shape over here, you see one line like the shape over here. I'm gonna make it a little bit darker. You have this, and now you have this. Now it's boring. How we can change that creatively? So probably we're going to make the line is not really so obvious. We can make the line on this side a little bit obvious. So I'm going to have a little bit cooler color, maybe seeing a little bit kind of gray color on this side because yeah, this is a little bit more neutral. When you go into the left-hand side, this is the gray color. And this is brighter color. Yeah, there's always brighter color. So you want to have maybe a little gray color over here. So try to get the value. And also think about, so I'm going to, over here, I can have the color a little change. So basically have the little bit neutral, but when you closer and closer the area next to the red object is showing a little bit warmer. So I don't mind, actually I'm going to even put a little bit more red over here. A little bit like that. So here you go. Now I think that's just could be a little bit overdue. So you just leave it like that. So on this side, I have to do something because I don't want to show it like a parallel line over here. So what I'm going to do, I just going to blur this line. Even though I don't want to change the shape, but I want to blur the line. So make the line much softer. When you look at the reference, actually it can be softer too. And a little bit like this. In that case, there's only one line. There's no other line compete with it. So that would be good. So when we think about being creative, is we have to think about some logic, some guideline. So we're going to go with. So next to I'm going to make this a little bit less the highlight less rectangle. So also going to have this color and put over here like this. And we also need to borrow some darker color and a little bit over here because this is like a little bit darker. So when you're working, slowly get into the smaller shape. And you want to use leverage the smaller shape, the color, to make the painting more interesting. And like also, yeah, a little bit flat. Yeah. So now you're coming over here, you also can have a little bit red color over here too. So I'm going to actually have a little. Yeah. When you do watercolor, it just use a little bit more water. It's use the big brush. And also in this area, and also you would have some yellow color and coming up over here, right? So actually last week there was a member and asked me about what do I mean about the color reflection. So I think this is also answer her questions. Like over there, you see that? You can see that it was so sweet, right? It's so beautiful. Yeah, now it's not much you need to do. So over here, I'm going to take a little red color. I'm going to put it a little bit over here. You see that? And that is the reflection from that. And power. Oh, you did. That is great. So why don't you do it? Okay. Yeah, now we're looking at the lemon on this side. I think we take this color as very much, and you can continue. I think you already drew it. You saw it, but somehow you did not execute it. So you now divide this into two different shapes, and these two shapes look very interesting. Maybe on this side I can make it a little bit lighter like that, and show it. I think that is very much it. And the painting will look much more detailed and it's more fun to look at. And even though over here between these two objects, we'll keep it dark, but however at the same time, you need to thinking about the red color on this side should be also bounced back to here too. Thinking about the tablecloth, and here is a little bit cooler. At the bottom over here, you probably should also put a little bit the table color over here too. We're always looking at the big color composition first before we're looking at the details, the smaller areas, such as how the color reflected into each other. I hope you find the art learning is an enjoyable experience, especially in this difficult time for all of us.